It's one of those situations where everyone thinks, no, there must be someone more important than me who needs to sit up front. Mr. Yateman, would you please come up front, please, sir? I'd really appreciate it. Garth, come sit down. Dawn, quite frankly, every single one of you deserves a seat up front because this has been quite a journey, and I've been involved in it for the last 6 or 7 years, right from the beginning when Garth Blumenthal had a little twinkle in his eye, and it's frankly a red letter day. There's been so many personalities involved in this who've absolutely contributed and been determined to see it through. There's not a single person here today I know who hasn't been involved in the success of the project, and that's why I'm formally declaring, although I'm not the mayor, that it's a red letter day for Temecula. It's a red letter day for Mercedes-Benz. It's a red letter day for Fletcher Jones Motor Cars. It's a red letter day for Kunzak and Sarah. Quite frankly, I'm absolutely honored to be standing up here. I had no idea I would be. I walked in this morning and my boss and mentor and someone I look up to, Garth Blumenthal, said, well, good luck, you will be doing the ribbon cutting ceremony this morning. So I'm normally one of the ones hiding in the back there making sure I don't have to say anything. Just to recap slightly, it occurs to me that this has almost been like a full-length feature film. There's been different part players, there's been main characters, but everyone's been involved in it, and there's been more plot twists and things thrown at this project than you could imagine in any Stephen King film. We had the Great Recession, we had doubts within our own group. Mercedes-Benz, thankfully, was always steadfast and behind us. I think, quite frankly, that we've got to this point where we have a beautiful resort-like dealership, that we've had compliments from absolutely everyone, is just a moment for reflection and a round of applause. We're going to do a lot of thanking today, but principally I think the city of Temecula has been outstanding. From the very beginning, there have been personalities involved there who wanted to see us here, wanted to see us be successful, and quite frankly, in the first 10 days of operation, we have blown by any of the expectations we could ever have hoped for. In fact, the public has done such a good job on their behalf that we're staggered as to how we can respond properly on the enterprise side. We need more salespeople, we need more training. Quite frankly, I think we should move the Newport Beach operation out here. Anyway, most important today, we're going to welcome Miriam Edwards, City of Temecula Mayor, to make some comments. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. They say women are famous for saying, "I told you so." We did tell you so. We know the residents of Temecula and the region, and they're very demanding in the quality that they want to see in their products and their services, and they're very gracious and thankful when they get those quality products. Temecula residents come through every time, and I'm going to steal one of Councilmember or Mayor Pro Tem Comachero's phrases. He says, when you move to Temecula, you fall in love with it, but Temecula loves you back. And Mayor Pro Tem Comachero is standing right over here, so we'll credit him with that phrase. And we also have with us Councilmember Chuck Washington, who's going to be speaking in just a second. So, you know, it is I will go so far as to say it's been a red letter week in Temecula this week, and this is certainly one of the pinnacles of that week. We have cut the ribbon on a new freeway off-ramp. Temecula has built a freeway. Cities don't do that in California. That's left to Caltrans, but we weren't about to sit by and wait for Caltrans to do that, so we're opening the French Valley Parkway one phase at a time. So we opened phase one with off-ramps. Winchester off-ramp was open, and we opened the Dade Street off-ramp today, or this week. We partnered with our city to the north, what we lovingly call Temecula Norte, Murrieta, and they refer to Temecula as Murrieta Baja Murrieta. And we opened Inez Road, something that's been in the making for the last 20 years. We celebrated that opening yesterday. And yesterday in Old Town, we celebrated the opening of the Truax building, which is going to be a landmark building in Old Town as Old Town continues to redevelop and shape itself as downtown Temecula. And today we are finishing off the week with this beautiful, beautiful celebration of something that we have waited for many years. It has been a legendary process. You have stuck with us through the worst recession we've seen since maybe the Great Depression in the United States, and we're very thankful for that. And I hope that the fruits that you're seeing just in being open this last, how many days? 12 days, 10 days, 12 days. From what I've heard this morning, I think you're seeing that it has been worth it, and I think you'll see that that continues. We try to tell all the major retailers when the promenade opened and when they expanded, we tried to tell the major retailers it will be worth it. And then after they have their opening day, they say, oh my gosh, we had no idea. They broke records on opening days. So we are thankful that you're realizing the same result. And we are thrilled. It really says something about your city when a dealership, the quality of Fletcher Jones, comes to town. It makes a statement about your community because we know you do not make these decisions lightly. So when on top of that you then say that you'd like to see your Newport Beach team come out to Temecula to train, that even says something greater about our community. So we want to say on behalf of the city of Temecula, the residents of Temecula and the region, welcome, welcome. We welcome you with open arms, and we're so glad that we've had the opportunity to work with you these many years. We're sorry it took this long, but we respect you for the business decisions that you've made, and we can't be happier to have you here. So let us know how we can further assist you in being the most successful dealership in the United States. So thank you very much. And am I supposed to introduce Mr. Washington? Or are you going to do that?
We'll take that on. I will take
All right.
I wanted the honor. I do wish to introduce Mr. Washington because I had dinner with him at the Gambling Cowboy. No, it wasn't the Gambling Cowboy. It was another one of those. Can't be a favorite of any institutions just yet. Bailey's, that's right. And I was absolutely struck by what a gentleman, what an intelligent man he was. We spoke about his airline days and his commitment to getting this project off the ground. And I know that as mayor, as behind-the-scenes councilman, as a political force in Temecula, he's been pro Mercedes-Benz all the way, and I'd just like to thank you for that. So personally, and on behalf of everyone here, you're a great guy.
Thank you. That was very generous. Marianne, I think he might have topped you on what you might have been able to say. Even if it's all kind of, touchy-feely, car salesman-ish. I love it, though. I love this day. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at the sign, Temecula. I love that. And I hadn't realized we're on Temecula Center Drive. I don't know if there's another Temecula. There isn't another Temecula Center Drive in Temecula. Yeah, so that was quite a coup to grab both of those, I think. I have a confession to make. I think it was probably around 2006 that the council authorized what we called a luxury auto dealer subcommittee, and they named me and my colleague Ron Roberts to that subcommittee in order to sit down and begin negotiations with Garth and his team and to talk about bringing Mercedes to Temecula. My confession is Temecula has such a long history of wins. I approached that effort, I think, with some arrogance. And that arrogance was born in the fact that I felt that there was no place else for Mercedes in this valley than Temecula. I still believe that, but in the meantime, we had a very humbling recession. The city struggled through that. we are on the other side of that. We have a great team in place. Garth hung with us. And so now, I think what has replaced for me that sense of arrogance about what we were entitled to have in Temecula, what I've replaced that with is a sense of gratitude that we have something of such great quality right here in Temecula. And I think the entire valley will support. I'll bet it's unanimous. If I took a poll right now, anyone that's got an opportunity, had an opportunity to go inside the facility, to look around, we even complimented the chairs. Mercedes knows how to do everything they do very well, and Mercedes-Benz of Temecula will be at the top of that pyramid. We have a great deal of confidence that this valley will support you, and certainly you know that we support you at the city. So congratulations and thank you for sticking with Temecula.
I know right now Garth is having second thoughts about letting me be up here because I'm going to be introducing him. But I think it bears a couple of minutes of observation just from my perspective, because we are all here today based on, as I said earlier, some of the personalities. And the larger-than-life one is definitely Garth. I always thought he was a great guy. I always watched him be successful in everything that he did. But what really endeared him to me was when, in the middle of the recession, the car business was very, very difficult. The ownership at the time needed a lot of support to be able to keep all of their businesses operational. We were dealing with all the same things that all of you know about from the Great Recession, from people losing jobs to returning their cars to a great uncertainty. And I really think that was Garth's finest hour. He was a great leader then. He never lost his cool. He took us through it, and we came out stronger and better than ever, representing Mercedes-Benz in Newport Beach. But on a personal level, he never lost his temper. He was under amazing amounts of stress, and yet he never raised his voice to anyone, didn't raise his voice to me, provided leadership par excellence. And quite frankly, I think it's a telling thing when you see how people deal with adversity. You know, instead of being a spoiled brat or complaining or taking it out on people, he just worked harder. I would open in the morning, I'd be there 8:30 in the morning. I'd be thinking I should be going home at about 7, and I couldn't go home because there was Garth in his office with the light burning at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And then he'd call down and say, "Anthony, now we need to go to a bar." He's got a lot of energy, this guy. But through it all, I think I'm most proud of him, that he came from humble beginnings, just as many of us did. Showed up here in America with a suitcase and got a job selling cars, became the #1 salesperson in the United States, went on to become a well-thought-of sales manager. And interestingly enough, in his story, his reputation is always what has got him to the next level. And it's been a great learning curve for a lot of the people around him, because when the current owner of Fletcher Jones in Newport Beach bought the dealership, a struggling bankrupt entity, he asked around and he said, "What will it take to make this dealership successful?" And to a person, I guess, and I wasn't there back in those days, 93, 94, they said, "You need to get Garth Blumenthal back." Garth had left because he didn't want his name associated with the previous ownership, who were doing maybe some unscrupulous business tactics, so he was at another dealership called Anaheim. The owner, Fletcher Jones, went and met with Garth and made a dealership come alive on a gentleman's agreement, just on a napkin at Coco's. Got Garth back on board, and we, over the next 20 years, went from a bankrupt dealership to the Ward's rated, that's the big rater for dealerships, #1 dealership in the whole country. Biggest dealership, Ford, Lexus, BMW, any type. Garth built it from bankrupt. And I say Garth, but Mr. Jones obviously is a very shrewd operator. But Garth is the guy on the ground making it happen from 8:30 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. So for him to get this opportunity, and for Mercedes-Benz to believe in him, and to back him to get this opportunity to be co-owner here in Temecula is huge. And from my perspective, I gave up what I thought was a great life in Laguna Beach, where I'd lived for the last 18 years. And my wife was a star, and we moved out here 9 months ago so that we wouldn't have to open a dealership and start a whole new household at the same time. And I got to tell you, it's the most fantastic place. We've lived in Laguna Beach, which is supposedly great. You couldn't pay me to go back to Laguna Beach. I know some of you don't believe me, but that's my experience. To have a little bit of space for my son, meet some nice relaxed people who are supportive. Every single one of our customers coming in here want us to succeed, which is quite different from the rat race in Orange County and Los Angeles. So no more on the personal stuff. I'd like to introduce Garth Blumenthal, co-owner of Mercedes-Benz of Temecula.
So now you probably figured out why I didn't speak, right? It wasn't planned, but it just worked out. Anyway, Anthony made a lot of comments about, what we've done over a long period of time, but really what it's all about is it's the people. It was the decision as to why Ted Jones, or Fletcher Jones, purchased Newport Beach in the first place. He could have done a lot of things. His dad really didn't want to buy the dealership at the time because they didn't need it, quite honestly. But Ted went out and had the vision to borrow $2.5 million from his father, who was already a successful guy, and he put his name on the line when we started back in December 1991. And the thing that was really the deciding factor, as I mentioned, was he walked around the workshop, he met people, he talked to the team members that had stayed over from the Slemons days, and that was the main reason why he decided to move forward. And ultimately, it is the core of everything that we believe as the Fletcher Jones company, and that is that we're only as good as the people we have on our team. You can build a beautiful facility, which I think this is, and you can do all of that, but if you don't have the right people representing your company, representing the brand, and hopefully the city as well, then it doesn't work. So ultimately, while Anthony mentioned Fletcher Jones, #1 dealership, and all of that, that's all true. That is history. We're interested in having history repeat itself in a different way out here in Riverside County and also San Diego, because it's so close. We're interested in building a strong business, but most important, one that contributes to the community. We've always contributed to schools in Newport, and we'll do the same thing here. We're very interested in supporting children's charities, particularly. That's what we do. We think that that's our mission. We're interested in continuing to work with the city, and hopefully doing some other things down the road. I wanted to thank everyone at the city, Aaron, and obviously his predecessor, and all the people that have worked so hard at the city to allow this dealership to open on time. I mean, it was a tremendous amount of hard work. I know that Pete Serra's here, Ron Hutzel from Kunzik Serra. You guys worked around the clock. Mike Kunzik, I'm not sure where Mike is, but Pete's partner. I mean, I can remember sitting in what was the trailer not too long ago, just a few weeks ago, and one of the people on our team said it'll never open on April 18th. It's absolutely not going to happen. It's impossible. Can't be done. And I think when you get a guy like Pete and his partner Mike, and you tell them it can't be done, I think it was probably the best thing that ever happened for us. Because I know, deep down there, they're kind of like a really great sales guy, like you guys are standing over there. When you tell someone it can't be done, you know what happens. That's why you never say no to a customer. Don't say the deal can't be done, because they'll make sure you're wrong. So anyway, so thanks Pete and your team and Mike and Ron for a tremendous effort in helping us get to this point. Thank you, to Stuart and everyone at the city that really were incredibly cooperative. I've only worked with Newport Beach really before, building a house and in Newport Beach. The one thing that I can say, which goes to what Chuck said, is that, and I'll go on record as saying this, that Newport was incredibly friendly in the beginning and less helpful down the road. And that's one thing that I think all cities need to remember, is because you guys are going to get bigger and bigger and more successful, and we have to remember it because we've come a long way, but this is a brand new freestanding enterprise, we have to remember that as we succeed, we can't forget about the core values that allowed us to be there, and we definitely can't turn our backs on our friends and the people that are there for us. So I wanted to thank Bob Yateman for being here, and Dawn and Les Korngold from Mercedes-Benz USA. Without these guys, it wouldn't have been possible, because there were some moments where we really needed our friends. And it's all about partnerships, and it's all about, having great partners, people that will stand up for you when they realize that you need their support. And Bob and Dawn and Les and Steve Cannon back on the East Coast, the CEO of Mercedes-Benz, were there when I really needed help, when things got a little touchy. And it could have gone either way, and we didn't want to lose this great opportunity to be in the city and to build a new business here. And I really appreciate the support that you guys gave us. It means the world to me. And I'm just really, really proud to be here at this ceremony, and to have had the good fortune in my life to be able to build by having great people around me. And we continue to look forward to taking the Fletcher Jones commitment to world-class guest experiences. It's getting a little windy out here. And all of our processes and systems, and implementing them here for the whole, not only Temecula city community, but also the entire valley. So with that, I'd like to introduce Bob Yateman to say a few words for Mercedes-Benz. Thank you for taking the time. I know it's the month end. I promise the numbers will be good tonight when we turn them in Newport Beach and Temecula. You won't have to worry. And thank you for being here. Thank you so much, everyone.
Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
What a great day this truly is. Garth, thank you very much for that remarks and welcome. I wasn't planning on saying anything today myself either, but you can't let a moment like this go by. And as Garth mentioned and Anthony mentioned too, there were some days back in Montvale. I was back in New Jersey for the last 9 years, recently moved out here, timed it perfectly with the bad winter back east, timed it perfectly to move west and to be a part of this, both back there during the planning days 6-7 years ago, during the downturn and so forth. And there were some days and discussions of, do we need to do this or do we just stop? And I'm glad to say, here we stand today, and we fought through the challenging times. We knew that the city of Temecula was behind us. It is great to see that name up there. That's something we do with all of our Mercedes-Benz dealerships now. It's not just the name of the company itself, but there's pride in the city that we do business. It's important to the community, to the customers there, and it's very exciting to see that up there after all these years of ups and downs and challenges. But today, here we stand, ready to cut the ribbon and mark a new chapter in Garth's, history, Fletcher Jones organization, and even for Mercedes-Benz. So we're thrilled to be a part of it. We know this is going to be a benchmark for us, and we're just very, very happy to be a part of it. So Garth, congratulations. Anthony, to the team. Well done. Thanks, everybody.
I think we're very, very, very lucky to have Bob Yateman, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz, on our side. I say on our side because we need all the help we can get here in Temecula, so I'm taking credit already. Please, sir. You've been huge already. You've got us a fantastic inventory of cars, and all we need to do, sir, is sell them for you. We couldn't be more proud to represent you. We honestly couldn't. Dawn and Les, the people representing you here often, and Brian, are absolutely the best, but I can tell you from the heart you're a gentleman, and the sun is shining on us that you are the current General Manager of Mercedes-Benz just as we start this enterprise. Thank you all.
On three. Ready? Yeah, nobody's fingers. Chuck, still got all your fingers? Okay, ready? 1, 2.
Yeah.